Okay, I think we can go ahead and start. I see that people are still joining the session, but I just wanted to welcome everyone. My name is Ana Lucia. I am one of the co-presidents of GRLA. I wanted to thank you for choosing to be here with us today, and we wanted to welcome all of you to the third and final day of our Luxury Events Industry Series. Today, we're delighted to welcome guest speaker Mindy Weiss, along with event moderator Alejandra Pupel, two distinguished leaders in the events industry. Before I pass on the mic to my co-president, Alexandra, we will play a short introductory video about Mindy's work.
Everyone, my name's Alex. I'm the other co-president of GRLA. Before I pass it on to Mindy and Alejandra, we would like to offer some insight into their professional backgrounds. Mindy Weiss is known as one of the most creative minds in the events industry as she plans and executes worldwide parties and weddings for multiple corporations and celebrities such as the Kardashians, the Biebers, and Ellen DeGeneres. So it's not a surprise that she's been ruling the industry for the past 3 decades. Our distinguished moderator for today is Alejandra Pupel, a Paris-based luxury events planner who caters to a diverse international clientele, allowing people to experience European savoir-faire by organizing cutting-edge events in the most sought-after venues across Europe. Our conversation today will run for about 45 minutes, but it will be followed by a 15-minute Q&A. So you can all submit your questions throughout the session in the chat. And in the end, we're going to call on to people who have done so. So for now, we just kindly ask you to mute your mics, but cameras are more than welcome. Mindy and Alejandra, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you girls so much, first of all, for having us both.
Yes, hello everybody.
Hello. So when I knew that I was going to moderate for you, I said, we're in for a laugh, because if I had to describe you with one word, it's a great sense of humor. Like, you're the type of person you want to sit next to at a dinner because you know you're going to crack up. So I'm really thrilled to exchange with you because you have so much experience, and I know that you're the type of person who really loves to share your knowledge, and that means so much, and it's going to be great for this incredible talk.
Thank you.
So maybe we start from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about your path, like where you were born, where you grew up, your school, anything that you wanted to, kind of your journey a little bit.
Well, first I want to tell everybody my daughter-in-law is in labor right now. So if you see me get up, you hear the phone, and I run out, I'll be back after I stop screaming with excitement. And we don't know what it is. It's my 3rd grandchild. So if any of you know me, I'm children first. So that is the first lesson for all you guys, is don't miss life moments. And this is a big life moment for me.
It is.
But here we go. So I grew up in a home, born and raised in Los Angeles. 2 sisters, there's 3 girls, and I grew up in the home where my mother gave my parents gave the craziest parties. So I saw things that I just thought were normal, because they were always having really fun, creative parties, dress-up parties, the annual weekly card games at the house, and I never knew Sunday why there were all these men at the house. There were all these men at the house. I called them all uncles, but later on, as I got older, I realized there was some betting going on there. But there's always great food, no matter what. And I just think it was in my blood. And I went to college, and I became the social chairman of my sorority. So again, it hit me again, but no idea I wanted to be an event planner. I just felt like, oh, I could do that.
And what did you study in school?
And then I studied radio, television, and film. But with my voice being so high, it wasn't as desirable. I think my personality was okay, but my vocals were not. And I got married very young for the first time at 22 after I graduated, and I just didn't work for about a year, and then got a job at a stationery store because I was so bored. And as you know, if the audience out there has this passion and has to keep busy and has a type A personality, I couldn't sit still. And I'm a paperholic, and I used to buy all the stationery, constantly buying pads and personal notes. And this is when, there was mail, a lot of mail.
Yeah, it was the
And
attention to detail.
right. And then from there, the person who hired me became my very best friend, still to this day. And we worked out of my house. We both got pregnant 4 months apart, worked out of my house, and it was a company called Jam, Janice and Mindy. And that became our invitation and stationery company. And we used to do custom, crazy invitations, really fun. And from there, the clients started asking us to do the parties. My best friend was not interested. She was too stressed out over just ordering invitations. But I thought, well, the event planners came to us. They were always cranky. They were always tired. They were always rushing in and out. And I thought, I don't want to be that person. But this one client who I loved insisted, and literally threw me into a party for his father's 75th birthday party. He was a prominent man in Los Angeles. And I just wung it. I just figured out how to do it at a country club. I was all over the place, no experience except what I saw, because I made the seating cards, I made all the table stuff and the invitations. So I knew that part. Literally just went and snuck around and got vendor names because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you find the vendors? Because back then it was what, the yellow
so
book?
I went to the hotels to see who was setting up. It was nothing like it is today. No social media, no, I couldn't go anywhere. And from that one party that I faked the entire way, I got 10 parties. I was like, who's that? And I just completely, and I thought, well, I'll make more money here than I would on invitations and stuff. And that's how the ball started rolling. And I worked out of my home for a good 4 years until the building and safety or whatever, we weren't allowed to work out of our homes. I mean, now it's changed so much. And he kicked me out of having my business at home. And I moved into an office in Beverly Hills. And then it really blossomed. It like changed everything. I looked more professional. The dogs weren't jumping all over my high-end clients and worried to pick up all the poop all over the place and using my bathroom in my house. It wasn't as professional. And that's how it started, Mindy Weiss Party Consultants.
But it goes to show that you can start in your, in your home, something a little, not a big office. Obviously you were conservative, you don't immediately get the big office and et cetera, because you wanted to keep obviously costs down.
No, you don't have to, and I probably would have stayed. So it was just like, I was pushed out, and I felt for a reason. Yeah.
So did you do like, kind of like the business plan, or you said, okay, this is where I want to go, or did it just kind of happened organically? Maybe, you started getting better clients and then the office came along.
I find that artists, I'm more of a creative. I'm not good at business. I needed to have someone help me financially. What do I do when the money comes in? How do I pay rent? So my mind doesn't work that way. So if you guys out there feel like, how do you balance that? And if you're not good at one, but you're great at being artistic and visual, you ask for help. So that's what I did.
Yeah, you have to have like a counterpart, like
exactly
the yin and the yang.
Right. I actually started with.
Was it Jan or was it somebody else? What did you do?
I partner with Debbie Geller, who is an event planner on her own now for the last, we worked together about 6 years and then we parted ways. And she's been on her own I've been doing it 32, so she's been doing it probably 30. Yeah.
Mm.
And but she was, I always say there's a fluff and fold. I'm fantasy, she was reality. And then when we parted ways, I had to do both roles. So the people I was hiring were a little stronger than me in that area, where I just wanted to keep drawing, creating, picking out linens to me is everything. So sometimes you need someone, the good cop, bad cop sort of situation.
So maybe from the beginning, what was your, like, the thing that you would tell your clients that set you apart? What made Mindy Weiss different? Apart from your sense of humor, which we all love.
Oh, thank you. I think I'm extremely calm. So as people get nervous, I get calmer. You have to know truly if you think about it, and your clients are stressing over one flower. Let's say they can't choose the flower.
Yeah.
You have to know that's extremely important to them. But in your mind, you're going, oh my God, come on. But it's very important to them. And I respect what they're nervous about. And I think that made everybody feel very secure that I was listening, that I knew it may be silly to me, which they didn't know. But, at the end, they would all go, oh my God, I can't believe I was making such a big deal about a flower. I said, but, hopefully you'll only do it once. A lot of my clients do it twice or 3 times. But, I think I'm just calm, and you have to get to that place of allowing your clients to feel really secure.
Yeah, because it's true. You have to admit, like, we do a lot of milestone celebrations, and it's just so emotional. It's so emotionally charged in family that it's true. We're a bit there, part therapist, part, designer, part everything.
We wear so many hats. You have to be prepared to have a big head of hats of being a therapist, a doctor, a lot of the times, a mother, a best friend. You have to be all those people while your clients are going through a process that they've never experienced, but we have. So we have to take them and encourage them and, help them move forward to that day.
And tell me, so what do you think is, like, everyone asks us the same questions, but what is the secret, you think, to organizing that super luxury, fantastic event? Like, what is the process that you go through? Tell us a little bit. Like, a client's going to call you. What is your process? Like, do you Zoom? Do you filter? Then what happens? How do you understand them?
Well, first they call for an appointment to interview me, right?
Right.
We're very fortunate. We're in a place of Hollywood, and and I'm at a point now, and it took a long time, guys, where I would call myself a high-end luxury event planner. I have, believe it or not, it's very hard for me to say that, because I hope the first thing you think about me is that I'm humble. But they'll come in and we'll do a nice talk. Sitting down at a table or sitting down with your client is the first step of connecting. You can't make it so cold. It's funny, when clients come in, they expect me to be completely different than I am. Either that I'm going to have a headset on and guide them into the office, or I don't know what they're expecting. But, you sit down and the first thing out of your mouth is not, so what's your budget? You've got to slowly get to that conversation. And you learn about them. I ask them a lot of questions. How did you meet? What are you dreaming about? What kind of bride are you? Have you been thinking about this forever, or is this new and you're more into your work than planning your wedding? So I have to figure all that out, and then I ease in to tell them what we offer, how we charge, what the process will be for the next year or 5 months or however long it is. And I don't automatically assume they're hiring me. You know, sometimes they'll come right in and they say, we're just coming to meet, we want to hire you, you know, which is yes, you know, then you don't have to work so hard. But you know, I leave it, well, if you decide to use us, we'll send you our contract, read it over. If you have any more questions, I leave it very open, and not with the guarantee that they're hiring me. You know, obviously it would be wonderful,
But it's true that there's a lot more now people, you know, there's a lot more choices. There's a lot more event planners than there were definitely 30 years ago. That's true. And,
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
but I think it's always good for people to have a choice, because when they have a choice, you know, when they're kind of looking at, sometimes when they're looking at 2, 3 people, then when they choose you, they're really convinced because they feel like they've seen everything, and then they're really convinced that you're the right fit.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I
And
always tell
also,
people,
yeah,
you know,
the personality, you're going to be with that person for, you know, a year or less, and feeling comfortable to call them for anything, you know, which
you
is
have to get
how
along.
I sell myself. You can call me. We do everything. That is my philosophy.
So coming into you do everything. So how do you do that? You know, because you're, you know, a mom, you're a grandmom. How do you do that work-life balance? Because that is, you know, quite challenging in itself.
Well, right. I have a fantastic group of associates with me. There's 9 of us now. There was 11. I had to furlough a few because of COVID, but I have such a great support team. I can I can offer anything, you know, but you could hire 2 people and offer anything. It's all about your workload. But number one, and I've been doing this a long time with, I already had a child when I started, but I was pregnant 2 times more. I have 3 boys. And the first thing when my clients sit down to interview me, I say is, if my kids call, I pick up the phone. I won't do it for anybody else, but if that's not going to make you comfortable, then I'm not the right person. And I talk about my kids all the time, you know, so if that's just not your thing, I can tell you right now, you know, it won't work. But, you know, it was very hard to try to make all the baseball games. You know, one time I did a cutout of myself and put it in the stands as a joke. Um, my kid didn't appreciate it, but I thought it was funny. But I was present, and they knew I was present, and they lived a lifestyle that I wanted them to live, and it was very important to me. So they they knew it, and I put it out there and talked about it all the time. And I will say they had the best birthday parties, especially out of my guilt. Yes.
I love
So
it.
I
I'm sure
celebrated them big.
everyone
Whenever
wanted to go to their birthday parties. That's for sure. I
that,
can imagine.
and
Talking
my,
about like
yeah.
birthday parties and kids' birthday parties, or tell me a little bit about like one of your favorite events, and, you know, or one of your favorite clients, or, you
Right,
know, give us some tidbits on some fun
right,
events that you've organized, the theme, the concept. Walk us
right.
through it.
Well, it started out with my kids, like that I was going to give them. I mean, I remember my first son's first birthday was a Flintstones theme. And I don't know if you guys remember it. I'm sure
Maybe
Alejandra, you
not.
know what the Flintstones. It was a cartoon that took place in a place called Bedrocks. They lived in rock houses and everything. So I literally delivered a rock invitation to everybody, and I changed their names. Like it was his name's Jordan, so it was Jordan Weiss Rock, and I took it
Oh,
to a very crazy place with all the details. But that's why I don't sleep, you know. So it really helped in my business when the kids' parties started coming. Obviously, you know that my favorite parties are Stormi's parties because, oh my God, come on. Who gets an
yeah.
opportunity to do that? It's insane. And Andrew in my office is beyond creative. So the 2 of us, we become, he's fantasy and then I'm reality now as the older and he's the younger. But boy, we have turned that into, you know, all those parties have really elevated, and we were able to really, really dig deep and do some unique things.
Yeah, but
So
also sometimes it's our clients who allow us to do it, because, you know,
absolutely.
trust you enough
And
so
the
that you go a
reality,
little crazy, a little bit, because that is the word. I always say there's this audaciousness that makes an
yes,
event like
for
absolutely
sure.
super memorable.
Yes,
You know?
and again, we get some nice budgets, so we're able to do some cool things. But then there's times when we don't. I pride myself on legacy clients, which means I've done their birth announcements, to their birthday parties, to their bar and bat mitzvahs or communions or whatever, to sweet 16s, to graduation parties, to weddings, and then to their children, and I'm still only 25. How did that happen? So, it's family. It's like when they call, I get excited because it's a catch up on family. And the best thing is when I do weddings, I see my other little brides there too. So it becomes like really a cool family, and that's good repeat business. You want to stay with the same families.
So, for example, when you do like a Stormi, or when you do like, how do you get from the vision, from what they're saying? What do you do, mood boards, or and how much do they participate? Tell me a little bit, maybe walk me through an
Well,
event, like for example, in Stormi or.
in that instance, it's all Kylie. She has her vision already, and
Ah,
she gives us pictures. She's brilliant, I can tell you right now, and extremely nice. So
mhm.
she has the concept, she does the theme, and then we flood her. We flood her with like, all I need is the key. She starts the car and we get going. But all of them are like that. The whole family's like that. There's not one of them that is not 100, 200% involved and tells us what to do. It's amazing.
I love those like collaborations
Oh,
when
it's
you can
amazing.
be creative. Like
Yeah,
sometimes I work with
yeah,
designers or architects, and it's just so much more enriching. It's true when they, throw
yeah,
out the ideas.
yes. And I did Courtney, Kim's, Chloe's, and Rob's birth announcements. So I've known
Um,
them a long, long time.
so what do you think is one of the biggest challenges, for example, of event planning? Like just the one that you're, God, what was the biggest challenge? Or tell me a little story of one hardship that you had and how we fixed it. All our mistakes we make.
Yes,
So
and we
share
make
some.
mistakes. I don't
We
care how
do,
many
but that's
years
how we
you're in.
learn. But that's how
And
we
I
learn.
learn every party. Every single party, I learned something I could have done better, or I forgot, or whatever. Um,
I know.
I think a lot of the mistakes I make is maybe taking on too much,
Mm.
so that the worst mistake you can make is making a client feel that they're not number one. So I
Mm.
always teach my youngers, that's what I call them, who work with me, that they have to feel they're the only client. Like, you should never say, oh my God, I'm sorry I didn't call you back, I've been so busy. Don't say that. Just say, hi, sorry it took me so long to call you back, period.
Yeah.
I had a client, this gentleman, a father of a groom, and I said that. I said, oh, it's been a crazy day. He goes, well, I don't know why, or I've been so busy, or whatever I said. He goes, well, I don't know why. I'm your only client. And I said, what? Like, he taught me. He says,
Oh,
remember, I'm your only client.
yeah.
And
Like they don't care about your
best
problems. Just
that was the best advice. And I said to him, yes, you are. And I still thank him. I still talk to him. I still thank him for that lesson, because I was very young then. And, nobody wants to hear about your other clients. Nobody.
I love it.
Just like I don't like my brides to get married at a hotel where there's several weddings, because I want them to feel that they are the only bride that day. So, if they have to pass by another bride, which happens, you're not going to be able to always avoid that, but you certainly can try hard to lead the way of if there's another bride there.
So tell me a little bit about, I mean, maybe one of your first celebrity weddings and how that, because I'm sure that once it gets on the newspapers, that kind of shut up the business, of course. But tell us a little bit about, if you want, how it kind of started. And then what are the challenges? Because we know that as soon as there's like the journalists and the newspapers, yeah, I
Right.
would love for you to share that. Because it's,
Right.
it's whole planning in itself. And I'm just
Yes, for
about
sure.
tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about like your first one and how
Right.
all those surprises you got about those celebrity weddings.
Yes. It was a long time ago. And it was Brooke Shields was my first celebrity. Again, I don't know if all you youngers know who Brooke Shields is, but I'm sure some of you do. Anyways, someone made an appointment, but I didn't know it was going to be her. It was her assistant at the time. So she came in with the assistant. And I was really calm. I go, oh, cool. Hi. Like that sort of thing. And I had a lot to learn because I was really naive to the paparazzi. But she was the type of bride who had dreamt about her wedding forever and literally came in with her inspiration pictures. There was no Pinterest then. It was just tear out of magazines and stuff. And it was in Carmel, California, still naive, didn't know. And all of a sudden, the paparazzi started showing up. And I was like, what is going on? And the day of the wedding, they were all at the church and in front of where we were at the time at the hotel place. And I had to think quick. And the place had a yellow rose. And I said, why don't we pull out the yellow rolls with a piece of tulle hanging out like it was her veil, and then turn right and we'll tuck her into a Honda, duck down, and we'll turn left so that the paparazzi would. So this became our job. Security, like that wasn't in our schedule for the day. So it worked. So all the paparazzi went left. They went right, we turned left, but they were all at the church. So it just adds another layer because the weddings are all the same. And celebrities all want the wedding and the love and the intimacy. They all want it, but they've made a deal with the devil and the rest comes with it. So once we are good on our security and we've kind of tried to avoid any of that, that's the only difference.
Sorry, there's so many things that you can do. There's, for example, I know how you can turn off like the mobiles in a certain area.
Right.
And, and then you take away phones because it's gotten to a level where sometimes, we're having events and we're asking, the guests kindly, can we please have your phone? We put it in a pouch and we give them to them. They're not happy. They're like,
Yes, but we warn them ahead of time.
Oh, no, of course. I mean, we let them know, but they're still happy. They think they can get away with it.
Of course. And it's really hard to ask high profile people to give up their phones. But we set up a phone station where they can come continually and check their phones and and once after an hour, they kind of like not having their phones. It's that they have to decompress and they have to get used to not having it. But we do that most often. We take
and then we tell them that we're going to share, like, once that the bride and the groom have pre-proofed the photos, we're going to share these photos digitally to everyone. So they're going to have much better photos than if they would have taken, with their camera. Well, even the pictures with cameras are pretty good, but it's great. So tell me one of your favorite like events or concepts or themes that you just really had fun with and that kind of stands out.
Well, my favorite event of all time was my son's wedding. So putting that out there because I was able to really, although I let my daughter-in-law do everything. Yes, she told me what she wanted and I was going to be the perfect mother-in-law and I did everything. Except my son wanted to walk down the aisle to this thing called Regulate. I don't know if you know, it's some sort of rap or whatever. And I thought, well, how's that going to work? And it worked. We had like 20 strings and they were all his friends were like, yeah, so it worked. But I would say, because I know all you guys love to follow the Kardashians, I would say that Chris's 60th birthday, it was a great Gatsby theme. And that was the party where I reintroduced myself to the family, because I wasn't doing anything for them until I think there was one little thing before that, but the 60th birthday, that's when they started doing these extremely large events, because I didn't do any of the weddings. And that was a great theme, and I researched the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So I copied the
A lot of
stage.
research and work and
Yes.
mood boards and.
Yes, we do a lot of mood boards. We present our clients with decks, of different ideas, and it's great. The more you can show your client visually, the better and more secure and confident they feel.
Because even if they trust you, it's just they feel secure when you do that. So we do 3D renderings and designs and everything, as you said, because it makes everybody just comfortable.
And we're actually just starting the 3D video presentations. There are people who know that that's out there. They want it, and they'll pay for it. So that's a big deal.
And tell me, I mean, with all this knowledge, you obviously wanted to share because that's who you are. And tell me about your incredible books. So what was the process? Like 3 best-selling books. So I want to hear about, like, first of all, how they came.
Now I have 5 books because So my first book, which is great when you guys graduate, if you want to go into the business, it's called The Wedding Book. And it's almost like a wedding Bible. And a lot of event planners have bought it because it's almost 500 pages extensive of everything you need to know with my voice in there. So it's not so boring because, I do joke around a little in there. And then there is the Wedding Organizer, which is great to give your brides or for you guys to stay organized. And then I did a baby organizer, because what happens after the wedding? Your baby. So it's a baby keepsake organizer, to keep all your memories of your doctor's appointments. And I think it goes up to 5 years, when they're 5. And then over COVID, I had to pivot. And I wanted to stay busy, and I wanted to keep some money coming in because, everything stopped. And on my bucket list, I wanted to write a ring bearer book called Jack Brings the Ring, and a flower girl book called Goldie the Handpicked Flower Girl. That's my granddaughter's name. And I did it. And they're so cute, and they're doing very well, and I'm very happy. And I also, with Debbie, the one I was talking about, whoever as an event planner has 2 weeks free? It's just impossible. You can't commit if you're a busy event planner. You can't commit to days on end. And Debbie and I created, it's called madaboutweddings.com, and you can go there, and we put together 12 sessions on how to be an event planner, or how, not even to be an event planner, how to plan your wedding.
All your experience from all your mistakes and everything.
Oh my God. And it's
like gold.
And it's all through conversation between us. And there's a workbook that you get. And it's been surprised. I mean, I was hoping it was going to be successful, but it's been doing very well. And, it's timeless. It's not going to, we did all these design setups with flowers that you guys will love. And, but pretty timeless. These are the basics of how to do a wedding.
Yeah, I remember when we talked about it a little bit, because you talked about it when you were starting to do it.
Right.
And I really gave almost too much advice, because it's like, I really gave my heart and soul. It's almost like, because we agree that after every single event, we sit down with our team and we say, what did we do wrong? What could we do better? And it's just like those lessons are, it's
priceless.
I'd rather read it on a book than have it happen to me,
Yes. And there are some event planners that overplan, like there's some that actually do a timeline where they'll say, okay, at 2:53, the flowers will go on to the bar, where I'm not that person, because, I hire people I have great confidence in. So, I know it's going to get done, but you want to stay organized so that you can dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and feel really good at the end of the night that you got 99% of it right.
I think that's such a great
Nothing is perfect, guys. You will not have a perfect event. It's
yeah.
impossible.
And as long as the clients don't find out, because we know sometimes in the back
But
office.
a lot of the times it's the guests.
Yeah.
There's guests that get sick, or
Or they
you
do
have
zero
that.
weeks and they never want to stop, like, oh, like I have Chinese
I
clients.
mean, there's things that are,
yeah.
unexpected that you have no clue would ever happen. And those are the times where you can really shine and handle it properly.
You know what? I think what you did, your pivot is such a perfect example of taking, how they say throw lemons and making lemonade, because
Yes.
for us, our business, imagine events, is like illegal. So it's like we can't even have them if we wanted to, maybe in the backyard for 10 people, but that's about
Right.
it. So
Right.
our scope of events are usually you plan 8 to 12 months in ahead, and it's 400 people and blah, blah. So it's true that it was so wonderful for you to say, okay, I have the time now and I'm going to do it, because time flies. I mean, when did you decide, like how soon after the COVID did you say, I'm going to do it? And how long did it take you?
It was about 3 months in when we knew we weren't moving. Yeah. It was about 3 months in. And also my family with the grandkids, they all moved in because they had an accident at their house. So they all moved in. So I had everybody, my 3 sons, 2 granddaughters, 2 dogs, husband, everybody in the house. And then this brings me into my chickens, because on top of all that, my son he graduated from NYU. He didn't get his graduation, but he graduated and he wanted chickens for his graduation gift. Do not ask me why. I have no clue, but hey, I would have bought him anything. And I live in the middle of a city, in a suburb. It's crazy.
You want a sports car, you want chickens. You got a great son, you raised him well.
Oh my God. And then of course, raised them. And he decided once things calmed down in New York that he was going back to New York for a little while. So what did he leave me with? The chickens. So now I am a mother hen, and with lots of eggs, and I will get him back. I promise you. He will remember this for the rest of his life, because now I'm completely attached to the chickens.
So tell me, there's, in the audience, there's a lot of students, and like
Yes.
if you went back to your college self, and what advice do you think you could provide for, for these students about just, being an entrepreneur, or your work, or, surrounding yourself with the right people? Tell me a little bit.
Okay. Number 1, this is the first bit of advice, because I think about it all this time. Have fun. Do not stress about what you're going to do yet. Okay, you have time. This is a time in your life where you can do anything you want. You can make your own choices. You can, especially, I don't know what year you guys are in, but the first 2 years for sure, just have the best time. And what you think you're worrying about now will not be as great as the worries you will have later on in life. So I always say, I could have had so much more fun. Number 1. Number 2, you will not graduate college and be an event planner. It won't happen. You can't just graduate, okay, I'm an event planner. You need to be patient and get the experience. You need to work with another event planner. You need to work in a 4 or 5-star hotel in their event department, because a great high-end venue or a hotel is where you will see all types of events, not just weddings. You will experience bar and bat mitzvahs, birthday parties, corporate. Corporate is fantastic. That's a great business. So don't rush, because you're going to climb up the mountain and you're going to get stuck. You got to slowly get there. It took me a while to get and build the clientele. But what you need to remember is when you start, that every party you're advertising. And that's what I tell everybody who works with me. We cannot miss a step, because we're advertising ourselves right now. And people always call and say, hi, do you advertise? I said, yes, every day I'm advertising, because I feel that our work, especially with social media now, we can really advertise ourselves at all times. And just don't be too cocky. Do some things for free if you can and you can afford it. Offer free services to other event planners to be, to shadow. You cannot imagine on training. I will tell you that not this year, but typically we take summer interns, because we need help. And we take 10, and after about 3 weeks, we're left with 3, maybe.
What are you looking for? Like if for the audience out there, if you're looking for an intern, what are those qualities that, because I'm sure you get so many requests. So
One, a lot of them go, oh,
that makes you choose them.
yes. Well, I don't choose anybody that doesn't have a connection to somebody I know. Because of the clientele I have, I need to have some sort of relationship, referral. There needs to be a little bit of a background check. But someone who, the problem is, my interns quit the minute they're sitting on the floor making gift bags. They don't realize that they're not going to a Kardashian party the week that they start working, and they want to go see celebs. And it doesn't happen. I wouldn't do that. With everything that you guys are learning and everything, take slow steps, absorb it, move on. What did you learn? What did you learn? So my interns do everything from getting coffee to running errands to preparing, for the party on that weekend, like stickers on water bottles. It could be anything. It could be, putting bobby pins if it's a Jewish event on, yarmulkes, to folding up pashminas for the women. There's hundreds of things, but you got to want to do it. And I will tell you, most of my associates have been interns, and that's how I found them. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that great advice. And I want to leave a little chance for, for everyone to be able to ask you questions. So I think we're going to wrap up here. We'll go to Q&A.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, Mindy and Alejandra, for the very insightful session. So to wrap up, we're going to move on to our Q&A moment. And I will now call on those who have submitted questions in the chat, so you can voice out as you unmute yourself. So maybe we can start with Cookie Echeverria's first question. Cookie, you feel free to unmute yourself.
I did.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Finally, I get to talk to you. I've been following you around everywhere.
Oh,
Thank you for this opportunity. One of my questions is regarding the 3D video, the rendering. I just heard about it today through you, and that's intriguing to me. Is there like a whole process for that? Do you have background?
Well, you can go on. There is a program called All Seated, and they're offering 3D now, and they really help you, because I'm not as savvy on that to do it myself. I'm trying and practicing, but they really help you, and I think they have a great app. It's incredible. I did a webinar with them where people's faces, so they would take your face and you would be as a guest at the party. It was unbelievable. But they really help you lay out the plan, and you could send it to your client and walk them through the party. It's insane.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it's a great sales tool. It just really makes me look so much more techy than I am. Yeah, completely.
That's right. And then my other one really quick is, where do you post when you're looking for your interns?
I don't post because we have hundreds, people, and it just goes to info@mindyweiss.com. And we're not taking it yet this year unless we open up, because I have nothing to do,
Right.
with everything, because everything's been small. But that's it, and it's 3 months. And then, because most of the students go back to school, and and it's a great experience. It's just, if you got it in you, and a lot of people do not realize how hard it is.
They really don't. I mean, you have to get down and dirty.
Right. And there's days where there's nothing. So there's a lot of sitting around. And then the next day you could be like, what do I have to do? But we're very fun here.
That's great. Thank you. This was amazing. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cookie. I think we can go ahead and Emma Sexton, you can voice out your question.
Hi, Mindy.
Hi.
So my question was, how long is your process typically from the initial meeting to the actual execution of the event? And if there's any that you turn away because the turnaround is just too quick?
I don't turn away anything. I love a party in a week. Bring me that challenge, because what you'll notice is with your experience, you'll surround yourself with a great group of, I call them frienders, but vendors, a florist, a caterer, and it could be one phone call. Literally, I can pick up the phone and call and plan a whole party, but it takes a long time to get to that place because people are very, what's the word? They get into the minutia of it and they have to control everything. So I trust a lot of people. I send them pictures, drawings, and bam. So give me a party in a week and I love it, because also you don't have to spend that much time with the client. It's like in and out, just like that. Yeah. But mostly a year. To answer your question, a year for a wedding, basically 9 months to a year. Yeah. And it's different in New York, because New York, the places book up like 2 years ahead of time. In California, it doesn't book up like that.
Okay.
Super. Okay, we can move on to the question of Jasmina Alush.
Yes, thank you. Hi, my name is Yasmina. My question for you is, what do you think makes a good event? Like, on what do you base the success of a good event?
Well, I'll know right away, pretty much right after dinner. I feel like I'll know if it was successful. But the biggest success is making your clients happy. If we're talking about weddings, oh my God, when they enter the ballroom and the shock and the whole day experience, because our day starts when we show up. With the bridesmaids, every step of the way, we are taking care of people. And you'll get a call right away. They're ready to go. But if they love it, you get 3 in the morning, you get this amazing text. I'm too tired to write everything, but I just loved everything. We'll talk on Monday. And then you have a great weekend, because you're like, oh, your shoulders kind of go down a little, and but doing it a long time, if it's successful or not.
Okay, thank you.
Super. We can move on to the question of Dana Han. If you're still here.
I am. Hi, how are you? I'm in the corporate events world, and I was wondering what was the most cost-effective way that you elevate events?
Well, first of all, I love corporate. It's much easier in my mind. I think with corporate, well, first I like to see what the venues have to offer, right? Because sometimes they'll offer linens that are okay. What I think about if it's a seated event is they're going to be at that table for 4 hours. What are they looking at? And for me to elevate the event is entertainment, because hopefully that's going to take it a level up. What is on the table? And most importantly is guest experience. What is going to make your corporate event better than the last boring one that they went to? What is unexpected? Most of my corporate events, I add my social experiences into because they don't expect that. So whether it's not corporate food, that you're offering them something even as simple as a delicious basket of French fries on the table. That is comfort food, and people get excited over that silly little thing. But entertainment, if you can afford to elevate it where people get up to dance, which is very rare at a corporate event, or, a hot dog station, and it doesn't have to cost a lot. It's just the experience that they're like, oh, this is unlike any other corporate event. So I constantly am trying to change up from the minute they walk in. What are they seeing? What are they feeling? What are they smelling?
Thank you.
Perfect. We can go ahead and have Anegrete's question. I don't know if Anagrete is still here.
Yes, hello. Hello, Mindy.
Hi.
Okay, so when brainstorming the ideas for your events, do you help yourself from reading or viewing pictures? And how do you keep yourself so inspired?
Well, you'd be surprised when one of the vendors sends me a new couch. You can't believe how excited I get when I see a new piece of furniture. But I'm constantly reading decor magazines, like Elle Decor or Veranda, or not wedding magazines per se, but really I find decorators are so inspiring, and I can see the new colors, the new paint colors. Veranda has the most beautiful flowers, but of course, and we keep files of things that we would love to do one day, which is really fun. But of course, Instagram and Pinterest have been my go-to, trying to, even if it's not as great, you look at it and you like it, but in my mind I go, ooh, I could do it better. But it gave me inspiration. And that's why I Instagram so much. I'm hoping I'm giving people inspiration and things that they like.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Perfect. I think we can hold 2 more questions. So we can go ahead with Jordan Greenlee's question.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
So good to meet you.
You too, Jordan.
Well, my question is, what's the best piece of advice you could give to someone who's just starting out in the industry and wanting to start their own business and kind of branch out? Like, how did you build a reputation for yourself when you were just starting to go off on your own?
Mm-hmm. Well, being born and raised here, I had a little group of people that I called on. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you ever need a party, it could be a kid's party, it could be a wedding. I did walk into a lot of churches and a lot of synagogues and left my card, even for their events, or if a bride walked in and they said, do I need help? Do I need event planning? I also, at the beginning, walked into the 4 or 5-star hotels to the concierge and I said, look, I can run and bring flowers. I can run and, if they want something special in their room, chocolates. And if you guys get crazy busy in the hotel, we're happy to do it. Balloons, anything. So I really just kept getting my name out there. But like I said before, you need experience. You can't just jump into this business, because a lot of brides who do their own weddings then feel that they are event planners, and it just doesn't work that way. It's you'll ruin their day, basically, because you just don't know enough or have an experience. Like, what would you do if a cake fell? Most people would panic, but you have relationships, you get another cake there, there's a lot of things that can happen at an event, and without the experience, you can ruin your client's experience.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to end the session in a very casual way, I think Tala has a very good question with regards to wedding and more specifically, the Bieber's weddings.
Yes.
Hi, how are you? First, thank you so much for coming. Like, honestly, this was amazing. So my initial question was about how much ahead of time should I talk to you personally for my wedding? Because I'm sure everyone on this call now wants you to do their wedding. And I wanted to ask about the Bieber wedding because I heard a lot about it. And so this is what excited me about asking you this.
Yes. No worries. You know, it all depends. As soon as you get engaged, that's usually when I get my calls. You know, first I always say, enjoy the engagement. Take it in, it's exciting. Don't rush in, find the place, hire this and that, because you'll be through your budget immediately. You got to take the time, get your budget down and that. And the Biebs, how lucky was I? How beautiful are they? Oh my God. But I did his Sweet 16 party when he turned 16. So I've known him since he was a little boy, and I wasn't even sure he would remember me when Haley called. And I have to tell you, that experience was amazing. The nicest people. It's so funny how people get this terrible reputation, you know, and I've worked with some, you know, not as nice, but boy, I have to tell you, people in the industry, as celebrities or whatever, they're very busy. They don't have time to sit and talk and take up your time. So you have very little amount of time to plan the lifetime event. And so again, you need training on how to ask the right questions and get it all out, because you're not going to hear from them again for another week. You know, it's not. But it was really a fun wedding. It turned out well. I was very happy with it. You know, I always, when somebody asks, how do you know when it's successful? And, you know, I knew it was successful when they screamed when they came in. You know, it was less like, oh my God, so cool. And I am not jaded. If I get calls from, I get so excited, you know. Any of my athletes, I don't even know. I have to ask my kids, and then they think I'm cool, you know. So
that is amazing. Well, before I pass on to Alexandra for some closing remarks, I just wanted to thank you for asking great questions, and Mindy, thank you again for being here. It's truly an honor.
Pleasure. Where's my baby? I thought the baby was going to come. They're taking a long time here.
You didn't get the call. Oh
I didn't get the call. I'm glad. I'm glad it didn't interrupt anything. But
I can't wait to know if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh, me too. I'm going to call him. The minute we hang up, I'm texting my son. Where are you?
So we just wanted to thank you both so much for this session. It's been great. It was a pleasure to have you both. Thank you, Mindy, for coming, and thank you, Alejandra, for doing this for us all 3 days. For attendees, we would appreciate if you guys could fill in a short feedback form that's being dropped in the chat right now. And we just want to thank you all for coming, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
It was a pleasure. Bravo, girls. You guys are very organized. Bravo. Huh?
Yes, really organized, nicely done. And girls, good luck if you're going into our business.
Yeah, good luck.
Sleep now. Get some sleep now.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.